Hey guys, Michelle here, Athlete Prospect Buzz. I second night, I kind of looked at my video that I did last night. Really pitiful. I got to get better at this. So you know what? I just felt like just being natural as possible, being me and who I am, and maybe that'll translate better over. You guys give me any advice, I'll take it. Um, So with that being said, it's cocktail night. It's Friday night. For those of you who know me, I don't much care about what people say or think. So I said, you know what? Just relax a little bit, and have myself a cocktail tonight. I promise I won't get too sloppy then. So first I want to start with a small housekeeping note. I had a couple people hit me up in my inbox after I got things going yesterday, and asking me about showing their son's film, and everything like that. And I just want to make it clear to everyone, I am not a recruiting service. I'm not going to charge you money to go and be a middleman for a coach. I could do it if I wanted to, but I personally, it's not my thing. However, I do have a relationship with college coaches. And if I see a fit for a kid and they're in need of his particular position, and, I'm not an expert at this. First, I go through like their trainers, I go through their coaches, I go through experts, people that are, a lot better. Sorry, my internet's acting crazy. I go through a lot of people that are a lot better and more experienced at this than me when it comes to evaluating kids. But I do. I'm insane. I'm insane, obsessed. Probably people think odd, weird person, especially as a woman, that I actually go and study film. So anyway, I just wanted to do that quick housekeeping, let you know. I will take a look at your son's stuff. And again, for those that know me, I'm very candid, very transparent. I'll be, kind, but I might tell you something that you don't want to hear. However, I think if every kid has a dream, I'll never deter the kid from trying to achieve his dreams. So I go into a lot of that inside my course, and finding the right position, finding the right fit for the right school, everything, what division you want to be in. I cover all that in my training, but here we're just going to talk about a little bit today about my story and how I got to be here talking to you today. Give me a second. Oops, sorry. Hi, Sabrina. How are you, my fellow entrepreneur? I promise I'm going to get working on that social media this weekend. So anyway, so my story is, it started from my middle son. He was a football athlete as well, and very, very talented. He was like one of those natural athletes. And, I was real green to the football scene, real green to the whole recruiting process. And I was naive. I was so naive. I thought that, he was going to be taken care of by his college coach. And, I didn't have anything to worry about. I was part of the booster club. I went in and kicked ass and went in there and just, did everything, managed the website, did all the social media, volunteered for everything, thinking, okay, this is, and of course I did it because that's just me. I'm an overachiever, so I didn't do it for those reasons. But, I'm thinking, okay, I'm active in this community. I'm active in this program, definitely. And, the coach was very, grateful, and he was, appreciated everything that I did. So that, that's not even the issue. I knew that, I was solely relying on the coach. I was, basing everything on him. He was going to take care of me. He was going to, go and manage, everything with my son and get him a scholarship. Well, that's not what happened. And I found myself scampering like towards the end of his senior year, panicking, thinking like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to get this, my son a scholarship? He wants to play at the next level. So I went through, I didn't know what to do. So we ended up, I contacted a recruiting service, and I was just like, it was insane, like an astronomical amount of money, thousands of dollars, okay? But you know what? I was ready to throw out the bills. I was throwing out that money. I was ready to, pay whatever it took so my son could play college football. And, he sold me a good, he gave me a good, he's a nice guy. He was a really nice guy. But, but he sold it too. I was pulling out my checkbook, and my son looked at me and he's like, Mom, he's like, no, it's too much money. It's not worth it, and at that point, that night, he probably doesn't even know this, but he'll know it now when I tell him. I cried that night because I knew it was over. I knew that his journey was over, that his dreams were not going to be fulfilled. Now, I'm also a believer in things happen for a reason, but, at the time, it was such a hard pill to swallow for me. I think it was more a disappointment for me than it was for him. But, if I had things to do all over again, if I had a nickel, every time I've said that, but I don't live in regrets, and we're moving forward. But I just want to let you guys know that, that's how I got to transition, and I became this obsessed mom when it came to my younger son. He was going to be going to the same program, and I just started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I know what this kid wants. He told me at a very young age, when he was 8 years old, that, Mom, I'm going to play. I'm going to get a Division I scholarship at a big time school. He's like, I'm going to, get the Heisman Trophy, and I'm going to play in the NFL. And I was like, well, okay. So I was like, I'm not stopping you. So, he says to me, he's like, so he knew right away what he was going to do. Now, he was like this tweener, so he was in between this little skinny kid. I think he didn't even hit 100 pounds until, he was like 12 or 13 years old. And so I said, you know what, this kid's focused, he knows what he wants. So I ended up doing a reclassification on him. Now, reclass, for those that don't know that or understand it, is that it's like basically redshirting a kid in 8th grade, okay? And, I did it for several reasons, but honestly, again, I'm being transparent here. I did it to get him physically ready, faster, bigger, stronger, etc. And then again, now I knew there was no guarantees, and I was very open and transparent with him about it, but he had a little bit of a hard time buying into it, because he wanted to be with his friends and all this kind of stuff. But Bryson was a little bit older than most kids that get reclassed. He was a little bit older because by the time he graduated from high school, he was 19. So when I held him back in 8th grade and I ended up homeschooling him, he was like, hey, Mom, okay, fine. I worried him to death. He finally bought into it. I just knew in my mind and my heart that this was the right thing to do for him. So once we decided to reclass, I started having some reservations about the program we were at. And I decided to move. And I moved him to another program. And You know, because I'd heard so many great things about this program, and plus, you know, back-to-back championships and great coaching and everything. And so we ended up doing that, moved him right after I had reclassed him. He finished his reclass year of 8th grade and then went into the 9th grade, started 9th grade at this new program. And, you know, after we did that, it was like, hey, this was the best move we could have ever done. I'm not saying it works out for everybody. We took a lot of chances, big sacrifices, but, you know, thank God it paid off. And of course, he got coached by some of the best coaches in Georgia, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not being biased either. Like, if you know what school he went to, you know it is the truth. So anyway, so we did this. We did the reclass. So as this started happening, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start taking him to camps now. We're going to go to camps. We're going to do these one-day camps. You know, he was on Twitter. I had, you know, communicating. At the time, I had control of his Twitter account because I just want to make sure, you know, he had social media etiquette and he was saying the right things, retweeting the right things, because I know college coaches look at this stuff, right? But I, you know, what I was teaching him is how to respond to coaches, have him do it in his words, you know, and I would look and say, okay, just making sure that he seemed like he was educated, you know, but then I would let him formulate his own words. You know, you definitely got to do that. Never, ever, ever represent yourself on social media if you're your son, right? So anyway, so we, you know, go through the years. He's learning a lot from the program. And, you know, as time is going by, I'm again finding myself like relying on the coach too much. So what I decided to do was just start myself personally. After visits, I would ask the coach, hey, is it okay for me to communicate with you? Is it okay for me to reach out for questions or whatever? And most of the, I mean, 100% of the time, the coaches were like, yes, you know, no problem. So as the time was going by, my son received his first offer, and you know, he had camped. They liked him, and you know, and it didn't hurt. Also, that we had a little bit of hand holding by a dear friend of mine, Takesha Smith. You know, I mean, it does help. I'm to be transparent. I'm be real with you guys. It does help to know somebody. So, you know, we get there, they introduced us and everything. But then, you know, after that, Bryson put the damn work in, you know, he put it in. And so, you know, after time has gone by, he's getting more and more offers, which is great, but that really wasn't our goal. The objective was like, you know, the right one. It only took one, right? So, you know, we get to the end. And you know, he has multiple offers, and he makes his decision once, decommits, which I swore if my child ever got an offer, he would never decommit, never say never. And we'll go, and I go into that. I go into details in my training course as to what really, you know, what happens to make you, you know, make your son want to decommit. And I full 100% supported him on it. And so, you know, in the end, that's kind of like our journey. But, you know, I really just wanted to stress to you guys, I became obsessed about learning, about educating myself with the process. You know, I messed up sometimes, and you know, and I learned, and it helped me learn a lot of things along the way. So if, you know, you guys are passionate about trying to help your kids get into a scholarship, get in a scholarship, whether it be D1, D2, D3, NAIA, what JUCO, whatever it is, everybody has their own path, and walk-ons, preferred walk-ons, whatever it is, there is money out there to be had. So if your kid is not D1 Power 5 SEC material, and you being real with yourself, you can still help your son get a college scholarship.